Okay, we're back and just going to take a look at some more brush techniques, and then we'll be pretty much ready to cut you loose here. This is the technique paper that we used before. This is the full-size sheet of paper, and I just ripped it into 4 pieces. Here's one, here's the second one, and this is almost all the way dry. It's just taking quite a while. And then here's the half sheet that is not fully cut. I'll probably cut that again. You can use scissors, or you can just fold it, and it creases and breaks off pretty easily. What we're going to do now is just be a little bit economical and use the back side of this paper. So you want that probably be held down with something. I'm just going to sneak the edge of this on here, and also put my little palette over there, just enough so it's not moving around. Again, you could tape these ends down right here, just a little masking tape. I wouldn't use other tape, but masking tape would work, and that would also give you a nice clean edge when you take that off, kind of like a little frame around your edge of your paper. And it's just fun to do it that way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to get some different brush techniques. Get our brush wet just a little bit, squeeze off some water up here, and we're going to still use our same paint. It's just going to last a long time, doesn't it? All right, and let's just go with this line here, and let's paint another one next to it. From the water that was on this one in the past, there is a small hump in the paper, so I'm trying not to put a lot of water down on this. I am going to try to reuse some of this paint and just drop it in here for a little bit more. Notice I'm not putting any more water on this because I don't want more puddling than I'm already going to get. I'm just making it a little darker right there. If I want to bring some smaller lines out, just kind of squeeze the end of the brush off here, and I'm just going to sharpen that tip out there. If I were to, again, you can make them about as thin as you like right there. I can go from thick to thin just by varying the pressure that you want on this. Then also, if you're doing something like tree branches, you want something really thin, here's an interesting little tip, is to use this side of the paintbrush, just the handle side, and you just come right in here and you can just drag some extra color out. Now it has to be wet enough. This side right here is already dry, so it's not going to do much here. That's not going to get much happening. But I could get some really thin branches and stuff coming off of here. So it's just an interesting little tidbit you can play with, and you can have some things crossing over. Again, I can just use some of this paint right here, and I could paint from thin to thick, thin to thick. It just matters how much pressure you're putting down on there. And as long as it's still wet, you could still get some of these to come out. Now this dried out here, so I'm not going to get much, but you could pull a little bit out with those again, or you could pull from the main one, and it just makes it fun. It makes it look like an actual tree in some sense right there. So just a couple of brush techniques that you can do. Again, the body of this is going to hold the paint, and the very tip is the part that applies the paint. So if I push the tip down onto something, let me see if I can grab an old sponge right here and see if we can illustrate this. If only the tip is touching like this, it's going to lay a very thin line, but if I were to push it like that, it's going to make a thicker line. So that may help you as you're figuring out what you're going to do.